And speaking on new music, we have some really good
Ooh.
news for I think every music fan. Frank Ocean, who's obviously a recluse, he's never on social media, has been on social media for the past couple of weeks, and recently he
Yeah,
dropped
posting a lot.
a snippet of unreleased song on his Instagram story, which may mean that we have an album on the way. But how you feeling, Adam?
Okay, this is awesome. We need it, Frank. I've said this all the time, and obviously he can drop whenever he wants. But I kind of have the J. Cole philosophy of when you look back at your career, Cole said, do I want to look back and say I didn't work with anyone? Does Frank want to look back and say there was this huge period of time where I dropped no music and I know how my music can impact the world? I'm excited for it. I think it means blessings for all of us. It's my favorite singer of all time, probably. Him or Anderson .Paak. But I'm so hyped for this. The snippet wasn't that crazy of a song, I didn't think, but new music's new music. We'll take it.
And here's the conundrum, right? And we have this conversation on previous episodes when we were talking about Kendrick and how he waited so long to drop an album. And it gets to that sweet spot where if you push it too much and you wait too long, there
It's
could be a
hard.
chance where your fans may not care for you, or people may not care for you anymore. I know people have been debating on whether a Frank album in 2024, whenever it's going to drop, most likely 2024, I think, will hit anymore.
Yeah, there's certain artists whose fan bases are so crazy that they're able to do this, and there's certain artists who are so talented that, hey, for all I know, it's bad, but it's Frank Ocean. Like, can it really be bad?
Hmm.
Like, he's just too good at music where I think he's one of the few artists who can take this time off, and people love this man. They booed Drake for headlining a music festival. Drake, the biggest artist in the world, because they thought Frank Ocean was supposed to come out, and he left the stage. They instead of just realizing, okay, Frank's not coming out, let's just enjoy this Drake show. They booed the biggest rapper in the world after he played "Feel No Ways." You don't get to see play "Feel No Ways" in these deep album cuts, and they booed that man. They booed him. It's
Well,
crazy.
let me tell you this. There's been some reasoning behind maybe why Frank has taken so long. John Carroll Kirby, he was a producer who helped Frank make DHL back in 2019, did an interview with
Dope
a
song.
cultural Substack platform called Blackbird Spy Plane. And in the interview, the writer asked John if this rumor was true that Frank Ocean feels frozen under the expectations people have put on him to follow up Blonde, which is a 10 out of 10 classic. And he can't bear the idea of putting something out that's so vulnerable for people to call it mid,
Mhm.
and right now he's paralyzed. And in response, because John is an NDA, he didn't directly say it, but he alluded to the
Yeah.
fact that Frank is a perfectionist, and that's why it has delayed, his output.
Hey. Yeah, it's really we look at these artists as superheroes. I know I do. So when you hear them talk about genuine human emotions like self-consciousness to drop music, it makes no sense because we're like, you're the GOAT. Anything you drop is going to be amazing. But they're human beings and they doubt themselves. Lauren Hill did it. I'm not sure if you saw it today. Andre 3000 announced he will be dropping an album. It's not a rap album, it's a flute album. Because Andre 3000, who is on most people's top five list ever, he is too self conscious to drop a hip hop album. And it's sad to see because they're amazing and they should be boosted up. But yeah, they're humans and they're scared. I get it. It's just hard to comprehend because you're Andre 3000, you're Lauren Hill, you're Frank Ocean. That's great. That's like a lineup of like best female rapper of all time, debatably best rapper of all time, best R&B singer, male R&B singer. It's crazy.
It is crazy. And I told you I'd come in with the receipts. I'm going to let you guys know everything to know about this album. So, of course, this is 7 years later after Blonde. And we know that in
7 years.
2016, I know 7 years, I
That's
know.
insane.
I know. But in 2016, Frank left Def Jam to become an independent artist. And during that time, before he dropped Blonde, he dropped a visual album called
Yeah.
Endless. And he also released Blonde on his independent label, Boys Don't Cry. So that
Mhm.
speaks volumes to Frank that he's an independent artist doing what he has
Yeah.
to do.
He schemed
In
the
20,
label.
Yep, exactly. And in 2019, he signed a deal with Warner Chappell Music Publishing, which is a publishing company under Warner Music Group. And that's basically what Chance did. Obviously, Chance is an
Mhm.
independent artist, but in order for Coloring Book to get to the level that it needed to get to, you need to go around and find some labels to give you that push.
Yeah.
And it kind of sucks because talent isn't all there is. You need to have networking and being able to know people
Mhm.
behind the scenes. It's tough.
Hey, that's why you get a manager if you're not trying to do that business side of the things. But yeah, Frank, that whole endless, if you've ever seen that YouTube video about how he schemed the label because
Hmm.
he had a certain amount of albums he had made, and he just made an hour-long video of him,
Yep.
like, climbing up a staircase or something, or a ladder. But yeah, I'm happy. We're getting new
Yeah.
I'm just happy to see him. Obviously, he had something happen with his brother, passed away.
Mhm.
That's awful. So good to see him that seems to be in higher spirits, dropping
Mhm.
music, and
Yeah,
King's back.
the album is gonna come soon because in 2021, it was big news that he went on shopping for record labels. He was shopping his new album to record labels, which means he's just looking for a different deal to put the album out.
Mhm.
Hence, it might be done. And in 2022, Rosalia, during her time with making Motomami, she was working with Frank Ocean. There was pictures and images of them in the studio working
Yeah,
together. And recently, Frank Ocean did a radio show for his Blonde Radio on Apple Music, where he was talking to a psych expert on microdosing and music, random, right?
yeah,
But that whole infusion and sound is basically what this album could potentially be, a euphoric electronic instrumental production that he himself is responsible for. So that could be the sound of this next album
yeah.
and a huge shift.
I'm down for I mean, the last album, like, I wasn't a huge Channel Orange fan when, Blonde came out. I kinda went Blonde, then revisited it. That was a huge switch, it's very minimalistic versus the kind of upbeat, happy Channel Orange vibes,
Mhm.
and, yeah, I expect him to do a whole new change, and he's about to get the bag from these labels.
Yeah.